Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Esports Pro League. I am Colin the Crow Clark. That is Jacob MVPR. And without a doubt, that man over there is the most handsome person I have ever laid my eyes on. It is impossible for me not to want to just drop the headset, drop what I'm doing, fly across the country, and give him the biggest vaccinated hug he's ever gotten in his entire life. But for now, I have to settle for just, being here casting over some fantastic gameplay between two teams like the Pittsburgh Knights and Hive. And this is a pretty interesting matchup for a lot of things, PR, because of the fact that Pittsburgh Knights, one of the best teams in the league. Hive, they were right there with them. They were probably the undisputed best team in the league after the mid-split playoff. They came right back into Pro League and were dominating the competition. And we had a team change, and Hive has not looked so hot since then.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you can really see the value in somebody, and you can really see the rebuilding process. But we got a head-to-head graphic for you guys between the Pittsburgh Knights and Hive. They lately have been on a downward spiral. They've been unable to really find themselves as a team. And Colin, this is their last moment, the last chance that Hive has to really find anything, and grasping at straws here, and I mean anything, to hold on to propel themselves into that major, find a playstyle, find a strat, find a favorite map, and stick to it and build from there.
I think the tail of the tape for me, like if these were two professional fighters and I was trying to figure out which one of them was going to win, Pittsburgh Knights has literally 57 extra kills. 57 extra kills over the plus minus of Hive. Like it is they are plus 116, meaning they have 116 kills collectively more as a team than they do deaths. I was
gonna say which is impressive, but I think that's just putting it lightly. But honestly, it comes through from one guy. I want to say mainly, that's what the stats said last, but Monkyz. Monkyz is a player that will continuously play out of his mind. He's a player that you're really going to have to shut down in these games. Otherwise, the potential for comeback, the potential for them to take over will always be there.
Without a doubt, and he's going to have to continue to be a factor tonight, much like Jefe is going to have to find himself finally being a factor for Hive, trying to go up against them, or else they are going to get steamrolled, for lack of a better phrase. We have the pick and bans set up for all of you. They will play on Harbor first, go over to Asylum, and finish up on Training Grounds. And I look at that Asylum pick by the Pittsburgh Knights as kind of a workout pick. To me, that tells me that Pittsburgh Knights look at the way that Hive has been playing, and they say, we can pick one of our weaker maps. We can pick a map that we haven't played that much this split, try to get some reps on it, try to get more used to it going into this weekend. They even, they have to forfeit up that final map selection, basically, because you see Hive banning out Foundation to get it to be tiebreaker map on Training Grounds. But without a doubt, I don't see a world right now where Hive beats Pittsburgh Knights.
I mean, I don't necessarily see it either, but honestly, this is the pick and ban to do it. Like you said, Asylum, not their most played map, not their favorite map to pick, but Pittsburgh Knights also know that's a map that will time and time again have that opportunity to kind of slip through the cracks. It might be a first pick, especially if you don't ban it away. So they want to get that practice. They want to get those reps under their belt. But you can kind of see Harbor on the side of Hive. That is their new map. I said you got to pick something. You got to stick to it. Time and time again, we see them picking Harbor. But with how aggressive both of these teams are, we could definitely see a third map if Hive find themselves in this one. I don't think it's out of the ordinary. But man, when it comes down to percentages, when it comes down to probability, that's a whole different story.
Percentages and probability are a lot of mathematical terms that I never did that well with in school. So I'm going to stick to what I know, and I'm going to tell each and every one of you that when it comes to predictions, I do one thing really well, and that is pick against the Pittsburgh Knights. And I don't even do that good tonight because I'm picking the Pittsburgh Knights to beat Hive in this situation.
You scared me for a moment. I know we're over here talking about reflections, taking first place. We're tied for second. No way Colin just gave it to me on a silver platter, second place. But I got to go ahead and agree with you. Right now, we talked about Hive refining themselves, rebuilding. I don't think they're there just yet. I think they're still going to have to figure out that process during the major, which is scary to say. I think Pittsburgh Knights are going to take this series. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit closer than a lot of people might think, but I do think it's going to be a 2-0.
2-0 Pittsburgh Knights over Hive, and at some point, I'm pretty sure they had to stop counting the Pittsburgh Knights. 2,000,000 to 111,000 points.
So no one's winning anything, basically. No points. You're going to get 45 points.
If Hive wins this, though, those people who put that 111,000 points, they're walking away with every skin we've ever had in Watch and Earn. There's not no shot they don't just get every skin we've ever put out there. They're going to walk away. They'll be able to they should get free tier 3 subs to UMG, and then they should have it on an auto repay so that even after that resub ends, they start paying for that tier 3 sub every month because they realize how invaluable they are to UMG gaming. I'm not saying UMG after the first month pays. I'm saying they do.
And it's very, very cost effective too. There's only about 6 of those votes out there, so it's like $30 UMG will have to pay as Pittsburgh Knights. They're just gonna they're gonna crush this series. I'll just decide. If someone on Hive really shows me something, then I'll begin to change my tune. But right now, I do think this is gonna be, like you said, a little bit of a workout. Kind of that last workout before you go and run your marathon.
Right now,
whatever it may be.
Right now, I need to see INZEM drop like 742 kills, like 742.
He needs to beat Powers to 2,000. Is that what you're saying?
He has you know what? Screw it. He has to get 2,000 for them to win this match.
God.
Like, I'm not saying that that's any pressure because the rest of the guys from Hive have to somehow find a way to stay alive because if INZEM is just killing everybody, I'm pretty sure they're still losing the rounds. But they're going to come into this matchup against a very gamey Pittsburgh Knights team. And if I'm Pittsburgh, I need to see them, for lack of a better phrase, they cannot falter. We got to see a scary version of E United. They took their game very seriously. They finished it out 10-0. Pittsburgh Knights, it's major time. It's time for you to do the same thing. Finish this out 10-0 if you want to be on that same kind of roll.
See, this is not what you said, right? And this isn't even close to what you said. But I heard it's basically E United versus Pittsburgh. It's not what you said, but you're saying if E United can close it out 10-0, why can't the Knights? Why do you say that about other teams?
Because E United's the greatest team to ever exist on any platform. Okay, PR.
All right,
you coming at me, PR? You coming at me?
Let me get some more watching under my belt with this watch and win before I make that decision and try to come for your throat. With TJ starting off hot, getting one on to Raver. Monkyz, though, the player I said to look out for, answering back. So 2v2. Going down onto this boat, trying to get some damage. Dezo overextending towards the top half of the map, and this is where it is going to come in. Monkyz, though, he's just holding his right-hand advantage, staying as clear and steady as possible. It's back and forth, and Monkyz, he gets team killed by Dezonide, and Dezonide tries to go in and make up for it, but he does not get any of those eliminations. All he gets is a down. Quick revives means he got nothing.
Good win.
Oh no, Jefe! Oh no!
Take on the queen.
What is he thinking?
I will say, Colin, I was thinking Jefe right now has nothing. It's not his play style to get aggressive. That's why I think it's a little... Hive has to refine themselves. His play style isn't aggressive like you saw a lot of the other players. It's aggressive. Shotgun isn't his first weapon that comes to mind. He's like that Lancer player, but I want to see him get aggressive. I want to see him get the shotgun. I want to see him attempt to be the main slayer here. They have nothing to lose, and if they find a way to do that with Jefe, then they're going to be in a good spot rebuilding their team.
They're going to be in a great spot if he's going to continue to play that way and have that kind of confidence. Meanwhile, you see Monkyz trying to hold off the next wave of players, trying to come into the home hill, trying to get those L triggers off. They have to try to retreat now and try to get back there to get for a touch. TJ now in the area. There's a quick kill, a couple of trade outs though. Jefe will find another one. Up A out from Dezo. He's going to get that kill. Mid-map, he's going to be Lancered out though. He might go down, and he does indeed go down. Somebody's in the area. That's going to be Raver. Everybody coming off of respawn though. Let's see what happens in this next retake. If Pittsburgh can actually get into this, because it's up 190 down to 110. So they're going to have to play pretty perfect from here on out to win this first round.
I like the control right now that they have. In order for Pittsburgh Knights to get that neutral, I feel like they're going to have to attack and get INZEM out of the spot. He's a player you're looking at to make some big moves, make some big plays for Hive. Late into this one, they're in a good spot. They have the win condition at the top. He gets another elimination onto Monkyz. The rest of the team needs to go forward. They have a 3v3. Possibility is there, but the window of opportunity is slowly closing. Dezonide gets downed out. Raver rethinks that opportunity. He's not going to push through. Sumuns is just stuck there, not able to touch the hill. And Hive, surprisingly enough, will answer first.
I'm really happy for them. Like, I know I sound shocked. I almost sound I'm Ron Burgundy-esque, but I swear to you right now, PR, this is actually a pleasant surprise. I'm very happy to see that Hive is answering in this one or is showing signs of life, because one of the things that could not happen is if they come out 0-10, people are already betting against them left, right, and center. People are already starting to lose that faith. If they came out flat-footed and got taken down, it was just going to get worse and worse for them. So right now, what I want to see is I want to see Hive continue this train. I want to see them be able to get another set of kills, start this initial off hot and ready to go. Even if Jefe's even if Jefe has the long execution Raver again, just to try to tilt him, I will not be mad at that.
Big kills coming out from Monkyz. Down towards the backside. Revive's going to ensure the chunk comes through, but it's actually only a down, and PK take control of this initial. You see them pushing forward. It comes down to that neutral fight. For Sumuns, you see Monkyz extending. They get the decap to come through, but the longer this fight goes on, the longer the chance for that 2v2 comeback. Solurs goes down. They get the first initial elimination on to TJ. INZEM just takes so much damage before touching the steps. It will be answered back with a round. It's all tied up one apiece between PK and Hive.
So we will go to round number 3, tied up. That was under a minute long for them to get that round win. Not sure what they're going to be able to do here differently. PK is probably going to start feeling themselves here shortly. They're going to be ready to go. They seem pretty much warmed up almost. It was like that first round was a little wake-up call. So they're going to come into this next round, and it's going to be an interesting set of circumstances. Both teams will have retros. I don't know if those will get picked up off the initial, but last round I think we have to give the advantage over to the Pittsburgh Knights, because something we have to call out is Pittsburgh played somebody back a few steps and was able to stand back and lance her out as those players came around the winch. They were already a little damaged, making those single shot kills a little bit easier.
Wow, those two flashes were timed perfect. Hive getting that first blood. You see the rest of the Pittsburgh Knights try to backtrack, try to retreat towards the top half of the map. Hive is playing this one careful. They know the options, the amount of possibilities are not necessarily endless. There's only a few of them, and they funnel them straight into those spots to get those eliminations. That's why you see Raver trying to hide. Right now, he's just trying to stop the bleeding. This is exactly what I mean when I say just that. Hide. Get your players to spawn back up as 5 and figure out a way to answer back. But he gets the down, not able to clean it up. Taken out towards the backside. Triple cap domination. It's going to be up to Dezonide and Monkyz. Some of the first players down. Retro's going to take out Dezo. And Monkyz doesn't even get a touch. So Hive answers yet again, back and forth. They get their second round. And honestly, they're performing better than I thought they would.
Here, I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to be completely honest with me. Don't mince words. Don't beat around the bush. Is Pittsburgh taking this match seriously?
See, I want to say yes, just because of the 9-1 record. I want to say 95% chance yes, 5% chance no. So there will be some issues that Pittsburgh Knights and any fans will have to address. If they continue to slouch, if they continue to play lackadaisy. This is the day before the major. You don't want to let anything slip through because it'll leave you wondering why.
So here we go to round number 3. Retros and Boltox out, rolling out of spawn. TJ will throw that flash. Perfect flash placement last round. Help them get these initial kills. TJ is unstunned coming into this fight. Already gets that first kill. Now Monkyz is down. You see Dezo went on a flank, got the kill. And he actually got down there. And you see Sumuns trying to rotate back to try to get this fight to happen against INZEM, but I mean, he has no help from anywhere. He's going to go down, and Pittsburgh is going to have to come off a respawn yet again and stop them from getting another triple cap domination, which they will. It looks like Hive is going to pull back now.
Goes trying to take control of this boat right back. Monkyz going to be the first player up there. He does have some reinforcements, so they're going to get the positioning, which is crucial. This is step number 1 of trying to fight back, but you need to make sure you don't take too much damage. You don't go down. They have all 3 players funneled towards the top side. That's not a good look. You need to figure out a way to take that stern or winch portion of the boat back, so that way you can fire down low. But everyone, it's like shooting fish in a barrel when you're funneled up there. The angles right now that Hive have make this possible. TJ going in, solidifying those eliminations, but he goes down. No one's going to get the revive unless they get this elimination on the Raver. They do, so they have an opportunity to get the revive as well. This looks like another triple cap domination that could be underway in a few short moments.
And once again, I'm going to give some props out. We've talked about it before. Can't be stated enough. Down low at the B hill, Solurs has been a force to be reckoned with in the past, and he will continue to be so. It is so ungodly hard to not just beat him in a 1v1, but deal with the fact that he's able to control that fight so so precisely. There's just little to zero room for anybody to be able to rotate around. Dezo's officially been called out, so they know now, I believe, they have all the information possible where all 4 players for the Pittsburgh Knights are, and I think Hive just have to make the right play calls.
Former teammates talk about it all the time. These two guys are matched up. Solurs fell back just to get reinforcements, especially knowing they have the win condition with points. They only need one of these hills. I like what PK is doing, trying to get at least some sort of footing back, but they need to go forward. That win condition is definitely going to close sooner rather than later. Dezonide gets taken out as well. Monkyz doing what he can. Big damage being fired out, but INZEM just baits him in, gets the kill, and gets the round for Hive. They're going to be up 3-1 over the Knights of Pittsburgh.
Well, right now, Pittsburgh has to figure out what's going on. If they lose this, I want to give a big shout out to everybody. If they lose this matchup, they will drop to 2nd place, ladies and gentlemen. So they have to be wary not to lose this matchup, or they will find themselves in a worse seeding going into this major this weekend. So now they need to come away with a victory.
Grenades or shot grenades going down. Bolt talk towards the top. I want to say with how back and forth this has been, but it's mainly towards those initials that have been back and forth. Hive, time and time again, they get their foot down, they hold on, stop the bleeding, and figure out what plays they need to make. But it does stem from this initial. And Hive figured out a way, put TJ in towards that front spot. Magic things will happen, but once again, it'll be trades. But this time, Monkyz is going to be the defining factor. Getting the last lap on that fight. He's going to overextend. Get spotted out from Solurs, but the biggest thing here is about this positioning. Pushing these players back. Get them to use utility just to take their own side of the map back.
See them going for the triple cap domination. Boltok out for Sumuns. A lot of damage. Not going to be able to get that second down, but he will get the first one. Nobody's really in a position to help him out. They're going to be able to Lancer across, but that's not going to find any kills for him. 2 players of the Pittsburgh Knights up there at the E-Hill. Sumuns has actually rotated back into the hill and has gotten another break, which will continue the point accumulation up for the Pittsburgh Knights and slow down the retake of Hive momentarily. Now the shocks are out. Monkyz will have it down there on Solurs. They're going to continue to pick those players up, try to stay alive in this. Now it looks like they're actually going to rotate all the way over to Pittsburgh's home hill. 1 player trying to push up the challenge out. 2 players now in the area. Lancer out by INZEM. INZEM playing a beautiful ROM character.
Ooh.
But he gets taken down by Sumuns quite quickly. And that'll open up the home-to-home stretch for the Pittsburgh Knights.
I like these little moments that I'm seeing coming out from Pittsburgh. But I need them to pin it together and pull it together as a full team and have these full team moments. And now they get the home hill to home hill. 3 players stacked up top from Hive, so they can easily find these adjustments, but it's going to be up to Dezonide. Right now, Raver can't necessarily just rotate off of this hill because he's leaving Dezonide out to dry. There goes a pick on towards INZEM, and this is where they're going to funnel around the map, try to sandwich him. Dezonide going down here is going to be a big blunder, but here comes the angle, the opportunity. But the longer they take, INZEM's going to be right behind him.
See Jefe going down to the Lancer fire. Monkyz now threatening the first half home hill section of Hive. 1 shot on for Monkyz, won't find the down on INZEM, but the extra Lancer fire out from Sumuns will. They do have a player there to immediately get the revive. Sumuns is going to back up with that Boltok and try to get as much damage out as possible, stop the retake from coming in. They're up over 200 points. So any kills he gets right here, any stalling of the side of Hive will be huge for their squad. But it looks like Pittsburgh has won the fight going toward the E-Hill. So 2 players are going to be in that area. They're going to go for this decap and retake very quickly. They're going to be 20 seconds away, from winning this round.
It's going to be a big down. Right now, the problem is they're stuck onto this neutral hill. It'd be a little bit easier from their home hill, being able to turtle back, but these guys can bounce off of this home hill to try to make a play elsewhere, but INZEM going down, that early elimination is basically setting this one up. Pittsburgh Knights' success. But they don't want to kind of funnel it in. They don't want to leave it up to getting the points onto the neutral, which is why you saw them trying to attack their own home hill bag. That way, if worst came to worst, they had to find a hill, they were already there. So that's going to be the silver lining there, but I really haven't seen momentum built onto the Knights. Like I said, they have those moments. They have some big kills coming off initial, somewhere in the middle portions of the game as well, but nothing convincingly as a full unit. They're not pushing together. They're not funneling back together. They're not even getting these bait and switches like you normally would see a team of their caliber do, especially since they're 9-1. And let me remind you guys, Pittsburgh Knights, they're still playing for something here. They're still playing for that first place position overall through this split. Because if they lose this match to Hive, they'll be 9-2 and they'll fall to second place.
So here we go. Next round into the board, round number 6, looking to try to tie this one up. So far, flashes out. TJ won't be stunned, bouncing through. There's the final stun that will get him, but you see the first kill coming through for the Pittsburgh Knights. Now 3 versus 4 on the map effectively. Trade still coming through. Deza will be the first one to fall for the Pittsburgh Knights, but 3 down and dead for the side of Hive, and it'll be up to Pittsburgh to make one final move over towards Solurs. Solurs using that retro to his best ability, trying to just tap that trigger, beautiful trigger control. Turns and tries to burn onto Sumuns, does get the down, and now 2 players from Hive will be in the area, pushing toward the D hill. Pick up the kill. They're going to continue to move across. There's the Lancer fire. They're not going to be able to get that kill. Solurs down with his second down and out. Won't be able to get cleaned up just yet. They're trying to Lancer him out. There he is. He's been taken down and out. 2v2 now at the E hill. Will start to break out. Shots out from Monkyz. Trying to mark both players. INZEM, first one up the ramp. Here comes both players. Monkyz and Raver into the fight. Shotguns out, trying to finish them off. Both downs, both dead. Pittsburgh Knights solidify the 2 versus 1 hill cap and easy point accumulation in this round.
Gonna be up to Hive here. Fight for their lives. We haven't seen them in this situation too much so far in this series. Monkyz goes forward, gets that elimination onto Solurs. No hill here. So INZEM can try to back out, but he's trying to put as much damage as possible. Look at the 3 Stooges there. I'm going to call them the 3 Stooges, 3 Musketeers. PK just running wild on the home mill of Hive. And this is going to be a tie ball game, folks. 3 rounds apiece. Map number 1. And this is where I look at Hive, a team that had success early on, 3-1 lead in that first half. They're falling apart. Where does this experience, where does that composure, and where does the switch up come through from players that have that experience?
I'm not sure where it starts for Hive. I think it's going to have to just, again, they relying a lot on Solurs to dominate his side of the map, to win his 1v1s. That's all well and good if you can keep 1 to 2 players up, if you can elongate the fights elsewhere. But the way that they've been losing some of these initials, it makes it damn near impossible for him to stay alive on the bottom side of the map.
Jensen's, I see Shocks. What I don't see is that big weapon going down just yet. And honestly, it comes on the back of experience from the Knights, where they know they're not forced in that position. They feel comfortable having to come back. They've done it before. It'd be crazy if you think they can't do it again. Another big initial coming through, looking like the 4th of July, and it's going to be PK who get the first kill and make it kills as they find 2. Dezonide does get cleaned up, though. INZEM forced to retreat. Lots of damage. He goes down, so that'll be a death that is surely staggered out. Raver's going to get the hill 2-1 in their control as they trying to get this last down and make Solurs kills himself. I don't think the play is right now to continue pushing forward. Someone has to be careful not to bite off more than you can chew, but a big down from Monkyz in the back line. I didn't see the full play, and that is exactly why you don't count the Knights of Pittsburgh out at any moment in the match.
4-3, 1 round away from answering back 4 straight rounds in a row and getting a 5-3 victory over Hive in map number 1 to take us to a map number 2 and try to look as good as you possibly can. Right now, Monkyz leading his team. I believe he was double-digit kills and assists, which is not anything new or surprising for that man right there, PK Monkyz. You see the block out for the side of Pittsburgh Knights. Hive will answer back with one of their own. If we can get a look at that scoreboard real quick, I'd like to make sure it's a double-double for my man Monkyz already. Let me get a good, nice and steady look. 13 kills, 14 assists. Hitting him with a double-double, less than 10 deaths. My man is well on his way to having a fantastic scoreline.
I don't even know how Monkyz got that first blood so quick. It was over the top. Big damage being answered back. Raver gets another one. Monkyz gets taken out, but that's going to be a double for Raver. Solurs, he's feeling that pressure towards the backside. His teammates up top are getting taken out, and he's actually going through it. Lancer shots, pistol shots, Incense being fired out. He's getting flanked as well and taken out. Dezonide showed no fear running through that instant. Had all the trust in the world for Sumuns to go ahead and complete that elimination along with him. But Raver, that's not a good position to be in. They're not able to clean it up just yet. Monkyz gets the revive, so the Knights will have a chance. Why? Why even shoot? Why even shoot?
Raver might be thinking he's in a rave and he fist bumped and ended up pulling the trigger. I don't have a good explanation for this one, PR. That was the best I could come up with, though. 2-to-1 hill advantage will go over to Hive. 2 players fighting against Sumuns and Dezo here at the home hill of Hive. They're going to get it down on Dezo as well. The only player left alive is Monkyz right now, and he's going to be waiting for everybody else to come off of respawn, try to get settled up before they go for a retake here. I think what you need to be concerned with is it is only a 30-point differential, so Pittsburgh will need to get at least a decap and a retake to try to get back into this one, because they will lose the point lead and they will lose their advantage in this round if things are to stay steady like they are right now.
I like the position for TJ, but there's going to come a point. TJ's going to have to back roll. He's going to have to give up the damage. When that point comes, I don't know, but he's going to go ahead and push forward first. The damage is there. These guys need to get chain revives off. They need to play together and close. There goes a big down. TJ's getting cleaned up. Trades back and forth. Nobody's even down low. All 8 players are up top. FA gets taken out. Solurs being forced back little by little. It's going to be up to him and INZEM to buy some time, keep their team in it, because the Knights, they're going to get the lead here this late into the game, so it's going to be up to Hive if they can kind of break through the defenses, not let them settle into a setup and attack. Right now, that looks like it's what is going to come through. They haven't been able to set up just yet with all this action going down.
See Solurs, he's going to get 3rd down and out after Sumuns takes him out. Solurs will have traded out with Sumuns, though, but you see multiple players on the map still down. Triple cap domination being threatened. Dezo will clean up one more. He has to worry about Solurs inside of that E-hill. Now you see the bounce around. Raver Dezo trying to get one more shot on him, but up over 225 points. Looking to close this one out. We are down to just 10 seconds, and with that kill there on to INZEM, that will wrap it up with a bow and give a gift over the Pittsburgh Knights. They were down in this one early, but they fight back. They win 4 rounds in a row to take map number 1, 5-3.
I told you, Pittsburgh Knights, you'd be a fool to think they couldn't come back from a 3-1 deficit. Have you seen that plus-minus 116? And Monkyz shows exactly why. You got to think the momentum has definitely heavily shifted on over to the Pittsburgh Knights. They're going into map number 2, Asylum. This is where Hive really have to take what's given to them and really capitalize on this not being their second best map.
Not being exactly one of their best maps, however, they still end up winning it. Now they go to Asylum, a map which I'm assuming they just need to get reps on going into the major in case it gets slipped through on them in some of the map selections. I'm actually very curious coming into the second map what the Pittsburgh Knights game plan is. Late in that map, one of the things that you saw them do is they just started wolfpacking incredibly hard. Sumuns had a lot of Boltok shots when he was playing his 1Bs. He was using the retro late in that game. But I mean, when you saw them winning fights and decidedly winning fights, I mean, it was just you having to deal with 3 different people at one time. And it's just hard pressed to find anybody on the planet that can deal with 3 members of the Pittsburgh Knights at one time. You're going to see a bunch of highlights early for the side of Hive, but things are going to shut down, and they're going to shut down quick because it was 4 in a row for the Knights to win this one.
That's going to be one of my biggest things for Hive as this one continues and into the major as well. I talked about it early. How deep does their strategy go now that Jefe is on the roster? And like I said, he doesn't necessarily fit the playstyle in terms of their all-out aggression, so I do think there's a lot that needs to be switched up. They can't go all-out aggressive like they normally would. And I'm not saying no, they can't get aggressive. I'm just saying they can't use that as their go all-in, get aggressive on this fight, win it, and come out on top. They're going to have to think a little bit harder on some of these moves that they'll make. And honestly, you almost think to ask Jefe what situations he wants to be in, what situation he feels comfortable, where is his strengths, because right now I feel like Hive is still trying to play the old play style, the old strats, with not the same tools that they had before.
And when we go to Asylum, one of the things that I think is going to be very, very important to kind of take a watch over is if Solurs plays in that 1B, and if they actually ask Solurs to be a little bit more aggressive, if they ask him to kind of get ballsy against whoever's against him, because one of the things that he's going to have to do is try to alleviate that pressure. One of the things we saw, the rounds that Hive was able to win, Jefe was up, running around, alive, having fun, not just basically being somebody getting taken down and out off the map, to allow for the rest of the members of the Pittsburgh Knights to 2v1, 3v1, whatever it might have been, everybody else on Hive. if I'm Solurs, you help alleviate that pressure. You help keep Jefe alive by pressuring your 1v, by playing up on that player, especially if you feel comfortable. I know it's most likely going to be Sumuns, and we all have always talked about it. He has basically been the 1v god since Gears 4. He's played more of them than just about anybody else on God's green earth, and he's won just about more than anybody else since the dawn of mankind. So if I'm Solurs, it's going to probably be a very hard fight and a very tough fight, but it's going to be one that you kind of have to take.
Either that or you take a page out of Rise's playbook of some sorts. You put Solurs in the fight similar to Rushy's. Obviously, you didn't plan for these changes to come through, but you got to roll with the punches. You got to make the adjustments where necessary. And I think you're not utilizing Solurs to this fullest potential here, especially in a fight like that. I know for years, even back to Gears 4, that's a position that Solurs did play, especially when kind of subbed in for one of my teams, Ghost Gaming in the past. He kind of threw him that position down low at the bottom. He excels in it. But his playstyle matches more towards the rest of the team than Jefe's. That's where I want to see him getting a little bit more of these fights. Switch things up. Don't play only into that 1v1 style of role because, yes, I trust Solurs to take a 1v1, but I don't want my game plan to be Solurs take that 1v1.
Okay, I ain't going to argue with you. If you think it's better move them over there, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll have to see when they load up the map and we see where the spawns have been placed out. When we come to Asylum, do you expect us to see a power weapon between these two teams anytime soon, or do you expect it to be pretty standard?
I expect a power weapon because of how aggressive these two teams play. Even though we didn't see one on Harbor, I think that's just kind of the way the map plays out, the way it kind of layout is, the pathways in which you can choose. I think Asylum does bode for more potential for that big weapon. I think we are going to see it. Would I be surprised if we don't know, especially if it's kind of evenly matched? But I do think whoever falls down possibly 2-3-1 or something like that, I think should put that big weapon up top, prepare for the second half, and go from there.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get to see a power weapon because nonetheless, at the end of the day, I always like to see those big team fights. I always like to see people kind of have to rough and tough it out over a power weapon and try to win those initials, which really put people in a tough spot to have to come back. But I always appreciate the fight and the mitigated goal to have to put it down in the first place. Much like having to put down a power weapon, though, Hive is down 0-1 in maps. They need to have a little bit more, I think, oomph coming into this second map. They had all of the pride and joy going into that first round when Jefe decided he would Y-button somebody. I think it was Raver. He decided to Y-button Raver. And of all people on that squad, I'm not sure why Raver. I mean, like,
why Jefe, though?
Like,
why he have to do that?
Because look, I think deep down it was one of those situations where like he was down in front of Jefe and he was like, "Watch what I'm gonna do." And I swear to God, I could imagine like Solurs being like, "Please don't, please don't do that to me.
Don't curse us. Just it's too early. We still got a lot of gears left to play. We're only up 3-1 here, but it's really going to be a test, like I said. We know Hive has the shotgun skill. We know we have the individual. We know they have a little bit of teamwork as well when it comes to being aggressive. But they need to be able to switch up their strategy. They need to be able to have two different fronts now, especially since they're rebuilding, trying to find what works, what doesn't. They have a lot of maps to choose from. You can't have an auto ban at this point in time. So definitely have to figure it out. And I think this is going to be a last chance to do it. Even if you lose the series, you can't beat each other up. You have to go into another scrim after this or kind of watch the VODs and figure out what you guys are going to change, what you guys are going to do for that major. Because right now, that should be where Hive has their eyes set on. It's not about getting first because that's impossible. It's about finding and preparing for the grandest stage of it all, and that is the major, which is this weekend.
They got to get prepared for it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Come hell or high water. They got about 48 hours until people are going to start rolling out a spawn because, hey, look, the pre-show for that sucker starts at 10:40 a.m. Eastern. So these teams that are playing late on a Wednesday night, you got a couple hours to maybe get some rest. Thursday, you better be spending all day in almost a boot camp-like scenario, going over callouts, going over maps, getting everything nice, neat, and tidy. Because come Friday morning, you better find yourself in your best possible position to win some games, because if not, as I like to tell people, you got an early bus ticket out of there even though you're playing from home. You know what I'm saying, baby? It's still, the analogy works. I don't care who you are. You're getting a bus ticket. It's going to be one of them old buses, too. I'm not talking like an Airstream that's chromed out on the bottom with multiple air conditioners. I'm talking like a 1937, like double-decker bus that used to take you to Army base camp when you got drafted into World War II, my man. I mean, it is going to be hot. The windows are going to be stuck. You're going to be sitting next to somebody named Cletus out of the backwoods swamps of Mississippi, and you're not going to know what that smell is. But by God, when you get off that bus, you're going to thank the good Lord above you. You get some fresh air, my man.
Yeah. What Colin said ×2. You guys better pick it up, or smelling Cletus on a bus somewhere, middle of nowhere, rock bottom, SpongeBob. I don't know, all the above. Hive though, and honestly,
can't let me go like that, PR. You got to stop me at some point.
I'm gonna put pressure on Jefe. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna put pressure on Jefe. If he's not performing in a very similar fashion to the rest of his teammates, he has to start getting aggressive. If I see him get caught out with his Lancer too many times, I'm gonna tell him, drop it right out of spawn. You hold that D-pad, you drop it. Don't let it be a crutch anymore. Play with a pistol, play with a shotgun, and then go from there. And if you don't find success, yeah, go ahead and spawn up, get your Lancer back. Get what I say?
We just got news from Channel 4 Chopper Dave. They have officially told us that INZEM is the only player not in his position. We're going to have more about that just now as Colin says, INZEM, please stop wasting our time, my brother. Get
okay, I will say.
So that we can get out of here.
As long as they are talking over strategy, adjustments.
They're not.
Oh, come on. You can't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Have you met Gears kids? You know what? You are a Gears kid. You should know better. You should know better.
Somebody's in the bathroom right now. Somebody just has one ear off on their phone like this.
Right.
Somebody just probably has his headset off, just running. Man, what do we got to do here? How are we going to... And he's not even talking to the team.
He's ordering Uber Eats. I don't even know what you'd be ordering it. No, it's only. I'm old. Yeah, it's like 2 hours past my bedtime. Okay, you gotta remember, I'm old,
Uber Eats places, man, they're ready for it, man. They're ready for that late night rush. Some of them I used to work at fast food, so I know sometimes you get a little bit busier towards the closing late night portions than any other time. These people calling in Uber Eats just makes it that much worse. I know, my local restaurants, they get pretty busy around this time. I know it's a different time for me than it is for them, but it's dinner time for me. So please, INZEM, get in your spot. I want to eat.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't catch what my man's putting down, if you're not picking it up, he's a West Coaster. He's trying his best to get to a nice, solid dinner. I'm sure. Look, I've been told, there been pray tell rumor in my time of casting with PR that there's been some beautiful homemade salsa made by his beloved, his better half.
I have no idea.
If that's on the table right now, I give him full permission to walk away. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I just go. Eat it for both of us.
I was just getting comfortable. That's not on the table. I'm a little sad. Now I'm just getting hungry. I've been staring at your little pocket square, and at first it kind of reminds me of a Dorito. I want to eat it a little bit, but then I remember it's a pocket square. It's not a Dorito. Hey, Jacob, calm down.
It matched my shaker. That was the whole reason I went with the orange, man. It was at first I was like, it's black and orange. It'll be Halloween, and then I was like, maybe Philadelphia Flyers, and I was like, maybe Gritty, and then I said, nah, man, it just matches.
If this goes to map number 3, you better
shaker.
take that off, because then I'm gonna eat it like a Dorito if we get a third map.
That's fine. You can do that, baby. You can do that. I'm not gonna be mad at you, my man. We come into map number 2 as everybody gets into their spawn spots and gets ready to roll out here onto Asylum. It is Hive. It is Pittsburgh Knights. Pittsburgh Knights lead it 1-0 after a beautiful map 1 comeback, winning 4 rounds in a row to finish it off 5-3. And now we're gonna have a 2-1-1 here, split up evenly across the map.
See, the stalemate kind of happened early on, especially since there's no ball talks on the map. But this is also the same round where you can make a lot of those brave moves, make a lot of those brave plays, catch somebody off guard, well-placed splash, get the positioning behind. But right now, it looks like it's kind of stalemate. The only person that really has a little bit of aggressive play is Monkyz, but it's actually a fight going down between Monkyz and Jefe. I wanted to see Jefe get loose. I was about to say, when you go into jail, you take the biggest summer gun and you try to take him out. Monkyz is that guy, but that is exactly why you don't mess with the big dog himself.
I'm telling you right now, that was a Chihuahua trying to take a pinch out of the Doberman. My man was up there fighting in a weight class way above his own. He's swinging way up. Pittsburgh Knights winning a couple of kills down low. TJ's going to go ahead and finish himself off. You see Solurs getting marked out underneath the overhang. He's going to be a little red. He's going to be spaced out, taken out. Now 2 players from Pittsburgh Knights are going to rotate out of the home hill of Hive. INZEM catches 1 player, hits him with 2 beautiful shots. He's full red. He's going to be able to get this finish if he... There we go. Thank you for that, buddy. I was appreciative that you would not let that person bleed on out. He gets a second kill. This is what I was talking about, though. INZEM has to get 6,748 kills if they want to win this matchup.
6,748. That's all right. That's fine and dandy. 6,746 to go for INZEM. At least only counting this map. Very, very doable. I believe in them. Especially the way they've been able to start. Pittsburgh Knight get the early hill cap, so they get the early lead. But just because Hive playing for positioning, they solidify that. They get the second hill. Now, retake is up to Pittsburgh Knights here. How it is going to come through. You got Sumuns with a smoke. You got some flashes as well. Here it goes. Someone's going to cloud one on towards the other side. Train's coming through to create some separation. Someone is definitely going to get that decap to come through. Dezonide and him trying to reunite to make sure this isn't an advantage going over, but they're actually taking some damage. They're stuck there for a moment. It's about who goes wide first, and it does look like the Knights are trying to run away, take a lot of damage, and they escape barely there for a moment, and now they're able to hold on to the lead that they had, and Hive was dropping down.
Up over 200 points. You can see now it's going to come down to the nitty-gritty. It is less than 20 seconds. They have to get to these hills to start, get these decaps. You see Hive is about to break out. Jefe is going to try to slide by Raver into the home hill, hops and then drops. He's going to get killed off. INZEM will find another kill in the middle of the map. Hive is decapping the B hill. They're going for the retake. INZEM is full red. He might go down. He's not going to be dead. He's in the hill, goes to the up A, but he'll go out finally, and that will be a round number 1 going over and way of the Pittsburgh Knights.
What is this, the 5th consecutive round for the Pittsburgh Knights? You think momentum
they won
is
4 in a row
definitely
to shut down last map. Yeah.
definitely on their side? But I will say one thing for Hive. FA trying to take that fight to Monkyz was definitely something I want to see more of. Obviously, if Hive is going to be successful, he has to win those exchanges, but he can't be scared to fight him because we know Monkyz is going to press up. He's going to take those opportunities, and he's one of those players, if he has the advantage or at least feels like he has the advantage, he's going to press it every time. So depending on how he feels about Jefe as a player coming in, filling that role, I wonder how aggressive he's going to be every round.
Well, I think it's one of those things where that if he gets any kind of extra damage, if he wins that, it's like almost solidifying an early initial and almost, I don't want to say a round win, but it's damn near close enough to it because Jefe is going to be able to take the next fight however he wishes, or if he wants to rotate and help out the teammates down on the tracks. Pittsburgh Knights are actually getting a little aggressive down here at the bottom. I like how Sumuns, he's taking that next cover up. It is TJ and INZEM down there playing the 2v2, and it looks like they rotated somebody up to try to 2v1 Monkyz up top, but you're not going to be able to really pressure this up. That front train is about to come.
See, I like that play that Pittsburgh tried to do, or not the Pittsburgh, that Hive tried to do with coming back. But the thing is right now, Jefe needs to start that fight. He needs to get the early damage so that way Monkyz can't escape scot-free and clean, but he needs to be aware Monkyz is one hell of a competitor. He's not going to get that damage go for free. There will be a sacrifice, and Jefe needs to figure out a way to stay alive. And that's kind of why you're seeing these stalemate situations. Nobody really wanted to give up that inch because they know how aggressive it's going to be if elimination comes through. Flash, crisscross, they're trying to stun both players. Monkyz goes through. That was a one-shot chunk. I can't even believe it, but he's going to roll with the punches. 3 players definitely going down. Solurs going to be the last one alive, trying to buy some time. He pushes them back. He is going to get onto the home hill for a moment to get the decap, so this one is going to be prolonged. He does get taken out, but what can the rest of his team do? Can they stop the bleeding? Can they fight back?
Right now, all they're going to do is come off a respawn. They're going to have to gather up their forces. I think you just got a wolf pack now. You got to try to take a fight somewhere around the map. Force the side of Pittsburgh Knights to either gather up or out-rotate you around the map. TJ bouncing around. Very fluid movement through the underpass. Now we're over to the top where the second half mid-neutral hill is. They got 3 players, and I called out the wolf pack, and looks like that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to stack up here and try to go home to put the pressure on. If they can find any kills coming into this fight, it really will give them a good advantage to try to out-rotate over down to that B hill. FA's actually going to back up now. They don't have a positioning. Trains are coming through. It's going to be a front train at least. So the red lights, I think it's a front and a back as a matter of fact. It is indeed front and back, so nobody can really get anywhere except for the decap on that B hill. TJ's going to go down, but nobody's going to be able to make it to him. TJ would have to get revived by INZEM, but he's not going to go in the area to get the revive. They're going to clean that up. 2v2 at the other side. It's a 40-point differential, but Pittsburgh Knights have the man's advantage. They have
my. I was about to say, that was a great attempt coming through, Colin. I thought he was going to be able to get both of those. If he doesn't get headshotted there, that fight's definitely still going. But Pittsburgh, they hold on to the neutral. Throughout all of this, their hill got decapped. That was just for a moment. I do believe it was Jefe in that decap to come through, but now late portion of this one, they got to decap both of these hills simultaneously. TJ Tip of Spear goes down first. Solurs gets one. No damage being put on him either. If he can get towards this hill, this will look good, but not going to be enough time in the game. Pittsburgh will win their second consecutive round of the map and their 7th overall in a row in this series.
7 rounds in a row, 3 to go to close this out 2-0 over Hive. Taking a look, Raver and Sumuns with only their first death to their name, and I think Raver actually only died once in the first 2 rounds, as he only has 1 in the kill counter, and his name was marked out at the end of that round, so I believe he's only got 1 death through 2 rounds, as well as Sumuns. Fantastic score line. I also like how Sumuns, he's letting everybody else, you know, take care of business. He said, if you need me, I got your Lancer, I got your Snub, I got your Pit, whatever you need. I got shots for you, buddy, but right now, there's not much they can do to me because I'm taking the 1v1 in the middle of the map, and all they can do is rotate around and try to find the weakness. And, I mean, Pittsburgh Knights have shown just about 0 weakness in this map thus far.
Yep, and that's kind of scary because we talked about this isn't necessarily their strongest map. It's definitely a map they felt like they needed some practice on, but at the same time, they felt confident enough to take it in this series. I talked about it. If they lose this match against Hive, they will lose that first place spot. They will drop down to 2nd, and no way they went 9-1, worked all season long just to get 2nd place here. So they want to win this one. You talked about how hard they were trying. It was about 95%. I think with a 2-0 lead, they kind of bumped it up to 100.
Well, they need to bump it up a little bit further and just go ahead and close this one out because, again, I wanted to see them be very convincing in this matchup. I wanted to see them be dominant in this matchup, especially going into the weekend. I don't like to see teams really falter going into majors. I want to see them kind of playing up to their potential, playing up to snuff. Now we see that the front train will come through. Rolling out now is TJ. He's going to be looking over. He sees Dezo, catches him once in the head, flashes out. Nobody pressuring up just yet for either squad. Train will disappear, but up top, it looks like Monkyz has won the 1v against Jefe, which will open up that home-to-home stretch. And I mean, that's just the danger we talked about. If Jefe doesn't get confident, if Jefe doesn't try his hand at that 1v1 and allows it to come to him, he's more or less likely going to lose it. And then once he dies, it puts pressure on the rest of his squad. That's a little trade out after a chainsaw attempt. But yeah, Jefe has to learn to take that 1v or not give it up. Because right there when he dies, it was like dominoes at that point. There was nothing anybody else could do to save that round.
I feel like unless he starts trying to convincingly win the fight against Monkyz, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And what I mean by that is he has to have a presence up top, one way, shape, or form, contesting Monkyz, or he'll be able to get across in the middle of the map, some angles down low towards the track, and really turns the tide. But he can't play all the way, or he can't play up, or else Monkyz will focus on him and try to push that 1v1 scenario. So Jefe really is going to have to look at different strategies, different ways of playing this fight, the push and pull, the overall battle that he's going up against Monkyz right now. With a 3-0 deficit, it's kind of hard because it's also a lot of pressure, especially when you're not in that fight where your team's not convincingly winning it either. What do I do? Do I backtrack to buy time? Do I push forward for a desperation play? So unfortunately enough, Jefe's in a hard spot right now. He's in a bad situation.
See them rolling around, trying to find out a position, but TJ with the Voltok will find the headshot on Sumuns, and now Dezo, he's going to have to rotate back, but he's going to go down, and that's kind of what they needed to lean on. They needed INZEM and TJ to win those fights down low, to be able to pressure out the rest of the players from the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. Monkyz, once again, though, will pretty much slow this round down and get a double kill there onto TJ. He's got one more to worry about in front of him. That's Solurs. Back A gets a couple of pellets, but not as much damage as you think. Here comes the extra reinforcements. Has the down, almost had a 3-piece by himself, but here comes the reinforcement out of the Pittsburgh Knights. They find the down. Solurs going for the melee shot punch. Won't be able to find that death. Bouncing toward the hill. Sumuns will drop his flash. Won't get any stuns. But it looks like Pittsburgh will get shut down in this instance. They're not going to be able to get this triple cap domination just yet.
Oh, no, he did not. Don't do it to him. I'm about to say, that first kill was damning enough. You can't let Jefe get put on skates like that. So good for him to be the brick wall that Hive needs in that exchange, because it could have been danger, could have been a triple cap scenario, but now they're able to bounce back. Solurs goes down. Train's creating separation. I don't know if he can get there. Yes, he can. I thought it was going to be a double train to where Solurs would bleed out, but He just needed it, but oh no, he doesn't even get the touch. Time to revive. Solurs is going out the window. There's nobody even there. Jefe does not get the revive. Hive feeling the pressure towards the backside. They need to play perfect from here on out because those 2 hills, they're getting decapped. Almost soon to be 3. Smokes, flashes, everything going off, but the marks are there. Nobody going through unnoticed, and PK will figure out a way to make the plays and go up 4-0. 9 straight rounds in a row.
1 round away, and this was the Pittsburgh Knights I was looking for in map number 1. Raver with only 2 deaths to his name. There's not been many answers that they could find going in this one. There's a shock out. I believe you're going to see INZEM try to answer back with the same thing. As much as I thought we would see a power weapon place just in case they needed to change the fight, it looks like they are not. It looks like they're going to go strictly standard and try to just win this on the back of some beautiful gameplays and teamwork, but they're not going to at all. They're so far down 4-0 and they don't have an answer, and that's the scarier thing, is that they don't really seemingly have an answer for the playstyle of the Pittsburgh Knights.
The shock being used first. I was going to say first by Hive, but shock for shock, which kind of lets Monkyz stay alive in that cubby. It wasn't put a little left and up the right, depending on which angle we're looking at. But I do believe there might be some flashes still left over for 2 members of Hive. Same could be said, but one of those flashes are going to be down low for each one of these teams. So they're going to go ahead and flash across, push Raver back, take out Monkyz, get this positioning, but their home hill's gone. And you can already see Sumuns bouncing around. He's going for eliminations. He's going for positioning instead of that hill.
Now Solurs trying to answer back. Left triggers out. Won't be able to find anything. INZEM last alive for his squad. Coming off of spawn, he catches Raver with a misroll, but he gets walked up on by Dezonide. Now Dezo will have the angle there, lancering down on a Jefe, but 2-1 hill advantage will go way of the Pittsburgh Knights. They also have the positioning on the map. It looks like Dezo is going to try to pick one player off, but he's going to get taken down and out. So now 4v3 effective on the map. Let's see if anybody from Pittsburgh Knights can answer back and get a kill. Smokes out, flashes out. They're going to have the stuns on Sumuns here shortly. You see them bouncing up into the fight. Beautiful full shot out by Solurs. Won't be able to get that down, though. No answer back just yet. You see them trying to push back into this, and they get the retake, but it's about a 30-point differential, and it could go right back way of the Pittsburgh Knights if they're not careful. Dezonide flying across the top side of that entrance and will get that first kill. Now has 2 more to worry about, Jefe and Solurs. Back A out on the Solurs, now worrying about Jefe. L trigger out on him, 1 big brick, now throwing that apartment complex to get that finish, and he gets the revive on his teammate Raver.
Ay, Dios mío, calling 4 players dead. TJ knows it's going to be one hell of a ride. Able to get 1, fighting for his life, pushes the members of the Pittsburgh Knights back, but they're not giving it up. Finally, they're going to turn, find that opening to go ahead and escape. Train's going to create some separation. This could be good, I was about to say, if Monkyz could back roll, but hey, TJ, look at the score, buddy. Showing him what he thinks. That might be a little too soon.
There we go with a shock. That's going to have a down. That's going to buy 10 to 20 more seconds, because by the time you get placed back into position to fight back against this Tide, it'll be up over 225 to 136. They're going to have to get full kills, full decaps. INZEM, he was going to have to go absolutely massive, but he will not find it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are down to just 5 seconds to go. And with that kill on TJ, tie it up with a bow, close up shop, ring the final bell. Yeah.
Like, bye. I see these players quitting early.
Okay.
10 rounds in the books for the Pittsburgh Knights. Not in a row. I'm just saying 10 rounds.
9 rounds in a row.
2-0. They made that look easy. Look at Dezza sweeping up the mess that he left.
That was 9 rounds in a row. 2 players quit out early for Hive, and it is just not a good look for them. They come into the final week limping into it after the team change. And instead of coming out with the hive mind, instead of continuing to fight as a singular unit, they limp into the major with yet another loss. The Pittsburgh Knights, they roar like a lion on their namesake, on that emblem. They are still stronger than ever, and I believe now they hold on to their spot into the standings, finishing up this Pro League split, securing first place going into our major this weekend in PR. It was a beautiful set of matches, and it was capped off with a fantastic... It was actually capped off, both sets were dominating performances by E United and the Pittsburgh Knights.
It definitely was, and I knew you were hinting at it. These is what I would think Just as well as I would think you are as well, as we kind of look at these maps that we've seen in the series. Pittsburgh Knights and E United. I think they're two of the best teams right now, and I do think there's a possibility we see them in the grand finals. Obviously, there's some seeding, some brackets, some pool play stuff to do, but I do think as long as they're on two different sides of the bracket, I think that's going to be the most common prediction from a lot of people.